Hey, you, did you know your world can never change until you change? Your reality, your life, the things you want, they cannot change and it won't change until you change. Hmm, paradoxal. Interesting. Why would this guy say my world can't change until I change? Hmm, could it be that this guy's talking about maybe the world is in me? Because this only makes sense if he's telling me, hey, my world can't change until I change. That's the only thing that makes sense, right? Voila! You got it. Your, your life is a reflection of you internally. Everything around you comes through you. You are the creator, the orchestrator. You are the man, the woman. You are in charge of all of this. All of this is holographic reflections from you. Pieces to your puzzle. You know a hologram, right? I'll show you something. A hologram, we all know what a hologram is. A two-dimensional surface, and it reflects a 3D world. Did you know that it's now accepted in physics and science that we live in a holographic universe? Our lives are like holograms. In this way, the fact that if you take a hologram, and let's say you cut a piece of the hologram. If you take a little piece of the hologram, every single information about the whole is in that small piece of hologram. Same thing with your DNA. Every part of you have every information about the entire universe in you. Your cells. Think about that. Think about how big that is. I'm saying to you that within you holds the key to anything you want to create in your life. Anything you want to find, anything you want to master, it's all in you because you're a part of the whole. So a little piece of you have every information about the entire universe in it. That's what holograms are. Right? Now, how can I change my world? So what is it causing? What's causing you from achieving your goal? The biggest cause, we all know about the subconscious mind. We know about how the unconscious mind can stop us. You all learn that if you watch my channel. But there's another force, I talk about it too, but we're going to talk about it in a little detail here. It's your ego. It's your conscious mind. It's the prefrontal cortex. It's the monkey mind, the monkey brain. It's the evolutionary part of our brain that hasn't caught up to the rest of our brain. While the other parts of the brain is evolving, that prefrontal cortex is still stuck in time. It's still stuck in survival mode. So your ego actually is programmed to make you complacent, to make you lazy. It doesn't want you to change because the ego likes survival. Think of the word survival. Survival means basic necessities, and that's what your brain does. That's what your ego does. Your ego don't like change. And you all know, if you want to change, you have to what? You got to do something you've never done before. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And the ego doesn't want you to go out of your comfort zone. Because when you get out of your comfort zone, what happens is you open up new maps of reality, open up new filters into your life. Now you start to see the world different. You get new ideas coming in, all this new stuff coming in. And here's something else you need to know, guys, is that not only is our universe, our world is a holographic world. You're holographic in nature. That means every information is in you. But not only that, the most deep implication is that your consciousness, who you are, so how does this world comes into being? It comes into being from a field. And they're discovering this now, this field of energy, right? And from this field of energy glitches you into your reality. So within the field, it glitches Mark and my experience. It glitches John, Mary, Stephen, anyone. It glitches you into your experience. Right now, there's this field. That's who you are. You're a field of information. You're a field of information that glitches and becomes consciousness. Physics is just discovering that. So, once you start to open your mind and you start to see big picture stuff, that's when things will start to change in your life. Let's go back to the ego, right? So this ego, well, you need your ego, right? You know that, right? Your ego is good because, as I said before, your ego is the part of your mind that makes you think and do all the good stuff. But the ego is programmed through the matrix. The matrix loves the ego loves the matrix. They're a match made in heaven. So the matrix is derived around your ego. It loves to please the ego, makes the ego feel good. So your ego takes you for a ride. And what the ego does to you is it gives you what I call false maps of reality. It gives you unrealistic truth. It tells you that you can't do something because you don't have such and such. It tells you you can't have that because you're not this way, you're not good looking enough, you're not the correct weight, you just don't have the mind, the brain. Your ego does all that to you every day, every day. Some of you right now, your ego's doing it to you all the time, and you don't even think about it. You know why you don't even think about it? Because it becomes so ingrained in you. Like you expect it. Like, oh, I'm just not good. It's not gonna happen. I'm just not creative enough. And you don't even think twice. You just accept. You got to stop doing that. You see what you're doing? And what you're actually doing is you're creating your world internally. So to change your world, you have to now become more focused on your internal map. You got to understand your ego now, and then you got to start to change your ego's course. Your ego can be programmed just like your unconscious, but the first step to program the ego, you got to know that I'm being programmed, I'm being controlled by my ego. If you don't know that you're being controlled or programmed by your own ego, then you can't change it. To fix a problem, you got to know there's a problem. Right? So all of us are ego problems. Now, how do I change my ego? How can I fix this ego thing? How can I, change this world I'm living in, affected to create world? Well, it starts with the conscious mind. As I said, the monkey brain mind, right? That ego mind. So what you want to do, the first thing is you become aware of your ego. The next step you want to do now is you want to monitor it like a child. Like you have your kid, you got to watch your kid, make sure he's doing the right thing. When your kid do something wrong, you correct them, say, hey, don't do that. You got to do that with your ego. So when your ego is taking you to the wrong place, you got to say, hey, no, we're going here. No, this is what I want. A constant repetition of that will start to change your world. That little tip right there will work miracles in your life. That little tip about the ego. Because people don't understand that you get what you put out in this world, and it all comes through the mind. Mind power. Your mind will go, if you want to go 100%, the mind goes 100%. You want to go 50%, the mind's going to go 50%. So you have to start to become aware of that, right? Now you understand that we see the bigger picture now. We live in this different world. It's not even a real physical thing anymore. It's more immaterial. Now it's more like a game. We live in a game world. This matrix game world. The matrix is just a part of the whole. The matrix is just a game within the game. So that's why we talk about, you can't escape the matrix because it's just a game. The matrix is not the fundamental thing that makes up. It's just a society. Societies crumble and fall. Societies change. New thinking change societies all the time. We're just going through one of those evolving things. But because you're in this time and you chose to be incarnated during this time, now you're in the matrix. Now, for those who are awake, those are the chosen ones, they can know this information. If you're watching this video finds on your feed, you're definitely one of the chosen ones. Now, so the world is within me and I can change the world. So the next question is, okay, the ego, the evolution part, ego. So the next question, Mark, is, so who am I then? Well, who are you? Maybe even more baffling. So, we discovered that, we evolved, evolution, right? So we have different mammals, then we have Homo erectus, Neanderthal. So what they discovered was that during a point in the human evolution, Homo erectus and Homo sapien, which is us, it took a huge leap. Something happened in the evolutionary period that we are not actually descendants. We share common ancestry or common DNA, but we're not descendants. Along the evolutionary tree, we took a huge leap in evolution. And it's not a natural leap. So what we're discovering now, and this is just breaking news now with science and everything. Scientists, geneticists, they're now looking at this chromosome number 2. Chromosome number 2. And what they're discovering is that chromosome number 2, which what we have, there's no way it could have happened on an evolutionary path. Someone interjected in our evolution. Let me repeat that again. Some being, something, technology, someone did something to our DNA and changed our DNA. Our DNA was physically manipulated by something or someone. It wasn't an evolutionary thing. So what is chromosome number 2? Chromosome number 2 involves with human beings have the empathy, love, affection. That's what chromosome number 2 represents. We developed that. No other species had that. And now, in biology, they call it, evolutionary luck. But they also discovered other parts that couldn't be luck. So pay attention here now. Pay attention. I don't know, this should be over the main news and everything, but of course it's not, because the Matrix, the Matrix is not going to want you to know this. There's scientists now that discovered this. They're saying that chromosome number 2 was genetically altered by another being. So what it says about human beings, guys, where it says you came from, it says that you were genetically altered thousands of years ago. Could it be what we see, those beings in the skies, we call them gods? Could they be extraterrestrial, other civilization? Because the universe is expanding, it's big. But we do know for a fact, listen to me, that chromosome number 2 could no way evolved organically. It had to be manipulated, and the evolutionary gap showed that it became so fast. So someone took Homo sapiens, put the DNA, manipulated it, and we evolved. You see what I'm showing you here? I'm showing you open-mindedness, and I'm showing you new way to think, new way to observe your world and see what your world is. I'm showing you the truth here. And, so how can this help you? Well, when you know information that's life-changing, life-altering, it definitely helps you, because it puts a whole new perspective. Now you put yourself in this big picture of where you are, who you are, and what you're capable of doing. And now you see how the universe is this hologram. And then we have the monkey brain. And so what's really stopping you from advancing and changing your life is your way of thinking. So you have to start to change the way you see yourself, the way you think, and then you'll change your world. Point blank. It all starts with awareness. It all starts with monitoring the thoughts. It all starts with changing the subconscious map of reality. It all starts with going into the ego, reconditioning it. But big picture is, you are unique, you're special, you're here for a purpose. You have the ability to create your world, because your world has already been created within you. And that's the big secret. That's the big motivational secret you need to know.